you want your guitar playing to sound more impressive, to play with more freedom, and to sound like you really know what you're doing, then you need to study John Mayer. Because his playing sounds very advanced, but it's actually built on very simple frameworks. So in this video, I'll break down these powerful frameworks so you can use them yourself and become a better guitar player. My name is Simon, I've been playing guitar for over 15 years, I have a degree in music, and built a learning platform playwithaplan.com, where guitar players are improving every day. To get the most out of this video, you want to get yourself something nice to drink and the free workbook. This gives you a simple overview of all the frameworks in this video, which is going to make your life easier and more joyful. Just click the link in the description to get it. Life is short, so let's get straight to the Mayer Jam. This one might feel a bit random at first, but it gives you a nice overview of how John Mayer actually thinks. Because when you see him improvising and just jamming, this is one of the most common things he'll play. It makes it sound very complex and impressive, but it's built on a very simple framework. And the first thing we need to do is to just pick a random key. We're going to use C# minor. So that's going to be from the 9th fret on the low E string. That's a C#. And John Mayer uses the pentatonic scale a lot, and most of his playing is actually built around the pentatonic scale. So from the C#, we're going to play shape 1 of the pentatonic scale, which looks like this. Next, we're simply going to play a chord that belongs to this scale. That's just going to be a C# minor 7 chord, which looks like this. So 9 on the low E string, skip the A string, then just play 9, 9, 9. John Mayer uses his thumb a lot, but if you think it's hard, you can use your first finger as a bar on all the strings instead if you want to, like this. Something like that. Then what he does is to just play around this chord and the pentatonic scale. But it still sounds a bit boring, so we want to spice it up with some rhythm. So what you can do is to play first the bass note of the chord, then the rest of the chord, then improvise something with a pentatonic scale. So something like this. Basically, just keep the rhythm going. And then just add stuff from the pentatonic scale in between. This is how he approaches loads of his music. Just keep it simple and practice this kind of rhythm. And eventually, you're going to be able to play more creative and complex stuff. And I want to quickly mention the second scale he uses a lot, which is the major scale or minor scale. They're actually the same scale. So in this example, you could add in just a few notes to get the minor scale. So let's try again, but this time add in a few notes from the minor scale as well. So this is a great jam to practice, just to get more used to John Mayer's playing style. Next, let's check out some essential chords. These are chords John Mayer uses all the time. And there are two shapes that are especially important. First, we have a normal major chord. From the low E string, that's going to be 5. With your thumb, then you mute the A string with your thumb as best as you can. Then you play 7, 6, 5. If you can, I recommend to use your thumb, because it's going to give you some more options when playing. But if you think it's hard, it's completely fine to use other fingers as well. You can, for example, play the chord like this. Because Mayer actually skips one of the strings quite a lot. So just plays it like this, or with the thumb, or like this. But the main key takeaway is that this is the main chord. And you don't have to play all the strings. And an extra bonus tip, just for fun, he uses hammer-ons a lot in this chord, like this. So to play that, you play the bass note, then 4 on the G string, 5 on a B string, then hammer on to 6 on the G string. To play this, I like to use my pick for the bass note and the fingers for the rest of the notes. But it's totally fine to play with only fingers as well. Anyway, the next chord is A minor. That's going to be the exact same. We're just going to move the 6th fret, 1 fret down. Now we get the A minor. So first finger is doing a bar on 5 and 5. You can also play A minor 7, which looks like this. Which is also a very useful chord, but in this video we're going to focus on a normal minor. Next, I want to show you all the chords in the key of E major, just so you know what chords actually work together. We're just going to use the chord shapes we just learned. And for the next chord, we're going to do a little twist. So start with a normal minor chord. But you want to add the 12th fret of the B string. So you get this chord. And back to E major again. So you can mix and match all of these chords together, and it's going to sound great. By the way, if you haven't yet, I recommend to get something nice to drink and download the free workbook for this video. It will just make everything a bit simpler. The link is in the description. After you have learned the essential chords, you can use them to create some beautiful open chords. So it's important that you know the essential chords we just went through first. So the concept is very simple. You start with a normal A major chord. And the only thing you do is to remove your first finger. But you also include the 2 open strings on the top. Then we can do this for all the chords in E major, and warning, it's going to sound really good. Let's go through all the chords, and for the first one, we're just going to use a normal E major chord, just because it sounds very good in this concept. Then the next chord. Alright, so just the second fret on the low E string. Skip the A string, then play 4, 2, and open strings. Then we just keep going. Wow. For this one, you need to use your thumb on the bass notes, but you can do it. Now you can just mix all of these chords in a random order, and it's going to sound heavenly. John Mayer actually uses this concept in his song Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. You have learned some Mayer chords, but now it's time to bring them to life with his right hand rhythm. This is something John Mayer is amazing at. You can take some basic chords and then add some really tasty rhythm. And he very often makes a snare sound with his right hand, like this. So now I want to have a look at 2 levels of his rhythm playing. Let's start with level 1. This is going to be the groove. Right, let's break that down. We're going to use the A major again. Then you want to use your fingers for this. First, you play the whole chord. Then a bass note. Then the rest of the chord. Okay. Then you're going to play the snare. And the way you make the slap or the snare sound is to use your thumb. So you want to hit the low E string with the bony part of your thumb. So practice that and see if you can get the snare sound. But this is actually quite subtle in the rhythm, so you're not going to go full on slap like this. But instead, you're just going to put your hand lightly on the strings, more like this. So you just need to make sure that the right part of your thumb is actually hitting the string. So everything so far will sound like this. Then you're going to play the top half of the chord again. And back to the bass notes. So whole rhythm, slow. And a bit faster. Spend some time and actually learn this rhythm, because now we can use this on any chords. Very nice. And you need to master level 1 before you go to level 2, because this one is actually really hard. Let's go through it slowly. First, you play the whole chord. Then the hard part comes, because you're going to do a slap and a strum at the same time. So we have the slap and a strum with your first finger. So it's going to sound like this. Okay. Again, this is really hard and it's not for beginners at all, but it's so essential to Mayer, so I just had to include it in this video. Anyway, next you're going to play the 5th fret of the B string with your first finger, then a bass note, then the 6th fret on the G string, again with your first finger. So the last part here is then we have this weird slap and strum thing again. Okay, let's try to play through the whole rhythm slow. And faster. Mayer uses this rhythm in some songs like Stop This Train or The Heart of Life. We're covering a lot in this video, but still, we're just scratching the surface. And some things might feel a bit confusing. That's because you're missing some important steps in your guitar journey. To fix this, you should check out playwithaplan.com. Here you get access to the success path. It shows you exactly what to work on, with detailed courses on each topic. So just follow the success path and get better on guitar. Simple as that. So check out playwithaplan.com if that sounds interesting to you. I'll leave the link in the description. And we still have loads of great stuff, because now we're going to check out John Mayer's framework for melodic soloing. And we're going to follow 2 steps. Step 1 is to play like a singer. You don't really hear John Mayer play loads of stuff like this. And the reason is that this is not something a singer would typically sing, at least a normal singer. But instead, it tries to really think about what a singer would typically sing. For example, something like this. And sometimes they even think about the melody. And step 2 is to outline the chords you're playing over. As an example, let's look at this song New Light. And the chords are A minor, D, G, C. And the solo goes something like this. And what he's doing here is to just target some of the notes that are actually in the chord. That's basically all he's doing. This is something that takes time to develop, but a good way to start is to just play the scale that belongs to the song. In this case, you can, for example, use the E minor pentatonic. Use that as your foundation, and then try to also add in some notes from the chords you're playing over. So let's say you're playing over A minor. Then you can start with the E minor pentatonic scale. And eventually start to add in some notes from the A minor. Alright? Then you can do the same for all the chords. So for the next chord, which is D major, you can play E minor pentatonic, but include notes from the D major chord. There's a lot to say about this topic, but hopefully that gave you just a quick introduction. Next, let's check out Robben chord sweeps. This is also something Jimi Hendrix used to do a lot. It's something you can use to spice up your solos. We're going to use the C sharp minor pentatonic scale again. This is how you do it. First, you play 9-9 on a G string and B string, both at the same time. You hammer on to 11 on a G string. Then you remove the 11th fret and you play this chord. So 9, 9, and 11 on a D string. But you're going to play it with a sweeping motion. So look at my pick. So it's a bit like strumming a chord fast, upwards. So the whole thing, slow. And a bit faster. Then what you can do is to just keep going down the scale, so like this. Oop. Very cool to use in your solos. Phew! John Mayer was heavily inspired by Jimi Hendrix. So in the next video, I share the most powerful frameworks of Hendrix. This is an important one, so you don't want to miss it. Bye!